Hello users, and welcome back to Above It All, the show, the best show on the internet, where I give you the straight dope. I think. I don't know what that word means. That term. Rather. Okay, so this apparently, according to this video, and I've seen some corroboration, this is apparently the home of the guy who murdered George Floyd. And
look how many fucking people are defending this killer.
I just want to say look at wow.
House. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how
I shouldn't have paused there, my bad. But notice how they all stand there. This is the thing that, again, I've said this before. Police are not human beings. They are not thinking human beings. As soon as you put on that police uniform and you do what you're told, you are no longer a thinking, breathing human. You are a weapon of the state. So keep in mind, who are they protecting? Are they protecting the people that are fearing eviction? Because guess what? Rent's due. The month's almost over. Are they protecting them? No. Are they protecting people who may be suffering from COVID, who can't get to the hospital and maybe need a ride? No. Are they doing anything, literally anything worthwhile? Nah. They are standing in solidarity with their fellow murderer because, again, they are not human beings. They are all weapons of the state. They are not thinking people. They do not have free will, right? And again, if you want to make the argument that they do have free will, then if that is the argument, they are evil. They are evil people. Could you imagine what would it take for you to stand and defend and protect a murderer from facing criticism and consequences for their actions? Especially, again, there's 15 trillion of these police officers
many
here.
Are
do you need this many of them?
defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many.
There's literally probably 100 of these motherfuckers, right? Do you need 100 cops? Surely. Especially when there's an era, or not an era, but an incident of civil unrest. Surely you can think of, if you've got 100 police officers that are here to protect and serve, clearly, right, there's probably something else that they could possibly be doing that would be more beneficial for the community or society that they are currently inhabiting, right? It's not they maybe have 5 outside of the murderer's home, right? But what the fuck?
Look how fucking many.
What?
Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look how fucking many. They're defending a murderer's house. They are defending a murderer's house.
But yeah, again, you have to keep in mind, I've been to these violent protests before. One of the things that, in my analysis, having been in a violent protest where people were injured, literally, 6 feet away from my person, I've witnessed police brutality in a violent protest. Now, the thing that I do in these situations is I analyze how the police react. I pay attention to their eyes. I try to see the humanity inside of them, and I really I have a very hard time finding any ounce of humanity in a human being that can stand shoulder to shoulder with, in the context of the violent protests I've been to, racists and Nazis. Imagine standing shoulder to shoulder with someone who's proudly displaying a fucking swastika flag, right? Imagine. And again, they're if you make the argument that they're here to keep the peace, as soon as they inflict violence upon a counter-protester, that is when that argument goes under the water, right? Their whole goal, their existence, right, is to protect and serve, ostensibly, yet whenever push comes to shove, they will always break for fascism before they break to serve and protect the actual people. Again, this looks like something out of Paranormal Activity, except instead of ghosts or gremlins or fucking cultists, it's police officers. As soon as you put on that riot gear, you have made your decision. You are no longer a human being. You are a drone and a weapon of a failed authoritarian state. You are not a person. Now again, if there is a good cop, right? If there is the ethereal good cop, they would not be standing in solidarity with this person. They would try to destroy the, solidarity from within. They would do something, anything to break up this situation, but they're not, because they think that their comrades, the murderers, the people that spend their careers murdering people that they feel are lesser to them, are more important to them than the people that they are hired to protect. And that is why community defense will always be better than police forces. When police come from the community, they have a higher likelihood of actually helping people. Now, I saw a statistic that said Minneapolis's police department mostly comes from outside of the city, so people drive 30 minutes to work as a police person in a different city. That should not be allowed. Community defense should be orchestrated from the community itself, not people outside looking down upon them that don't know them. Community defense should be people that everybody knows. Like, instead of electing politicians who appoint officers and hire officers, right, we should elect actual police officers. Every single police officer should be an elected official. That is something, until then, if that is the case in any specific area, maybe they could be good cops, but even then there's potential for corruption, which is why I am in support of community defense. I am in support of creating community-based solidarity and networks that are able to deal with this stuff. This is why if someone is in a gang, they would rather have a gang help them than the police, because the police, even if you do need the cops in a violent situation, the police take fucking forever to get there, right? The police are never really going to actually actively prevent actual problems. Usually the police are only there. The only thing the police could potentially do, is just litigate, litigious things, like if a car accident happens, who has to sign what, and really that's the only actual genuine thing the police are even remotely good at. When it comes to anything that actually is in a life and death situation, either police aren't going to get there in time, or they're going to make the situation a lot worse. And again, when police have the opportunity to have any sort of free agency, they never choose to do so, and instead they stand with solidarity outside of a murderer's household. And again, if the idea is, due process, right? You don't need 100 fucking billion cops outside this motherfucker's house. You need 10, 5. You don't need that fucking many of them, right? It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And again, I've made a lot of videos today, so go watch all of the videos I've made. My hair is a little tangled. It's really fucking hot outside, inside as well. I'm going to turn my fan on, but hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Go watch the rest of the videos. I know that the fan is probably making noise, but I like when my fans make noise. So leave a comment on this video letting me know how you feel about this. Yeah, I don't like cops. I think that's needless to be said at this point. I do not like police. And again, every single bit of evidence that I see shows that the police are just not good, especially in this situation. Again, this is just bizarre. I'm just going to let this play. I probably should have just let this play on loop with the audio off while I was talking. But again, look how many of these people are standing in solidarity, not with their community. Well, in a sense, their community, but not the community they are hired to protect. They're standing in solidarity with a racist murderer, because to them, the racist murderer is more important than anything and everything else.